I'm not sure that I mentioned earlier, but it may have been obvious that CANIE focuses specifically on the professionals, the practitioners working within the international education sector. And we have intentionally chosen to do that rather than to focus on students themselves. And there's one main reason for that. And it's essentially that we don't have time. If we really want to make a difference, we have to focus on the people who currently hold the reins of power and the budget strings and have the influence within organizations. But that's not to say that we don't think students are important. Of course they are. And they're also important not only in their own right, but because their demand for action can help shift and influence, for example, university leadership to perhaps do more in response to that demand. So as part of our summit today, what we've done is ask students from around Europe to share with us their thoughts, their perspectives on why climate action and sustainability is so important to them. So I'd now like to go to our first student video, please.
Hi, my name is Lasse Vesvik. I'm a first year master's student in Masters of Environmental Psychology here at Norway's Inland University of Applied Sciences in Lillehammer in Norway. I'm originally from Tromsø, which is up north in above the Arctic Circle, and climate change has always been an important topic for myself, as I've always been very about nature, being raised with the steep fjords, the dramatic mountains, and a lot. It's always been something that has been there with me, and I've always wanted everybody else to be able to see the nature. And as I got older, I did see that the world is in a pending crisis, and we do need to reduce our carbon footprint emissions. And through the years, I've done a lot of that through taking trains, picking a better form of public transportation, and also recently I've taken less meat, for example, just replacing the meat in spaghetti with beans or something like that. And in Norway, we do have a good tradition of recycling, especially with cans and bottles. And the university here at Lillehammer has gotten different categories like plastic, food, organic waste, like different categories. And up north where I'm from, we actually have up to 5-6 colors of different sorting and recycling. And me personally, I take a lot. I do bicycle when it's nice weather, which it is right now, as you can see. And I also make sure to take public transport. I do love trains, as I mentioned. Sometimes you do have to take a plane, however, especially up north where I'm from. So sometimes you got to do it, but that's a way to reduce my carbon footprint. And during this COVID-19 crisis, I was actually in the US, in Florida, working, and I had to evacuate home as we got laid off at where I was working. And then I saw how like, especially air travel, how dramatically it went down, with being that it was only about over half as much planes over Europe that it used to be. And it was a little troubling getting home, but we did get home, luckily. And it has shown that a lot of travel we do might not be as important as we sometimes think it is. Little Norway can't save the world, and that's probably true, as we can't, but we can for surely do our own part to actually get to work it out and try together. And I believe that if all of us makes a common sense of it and try our best to reduce our carbon emission footprint, I do believe it is possible to get the green future that all of us want. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Carly, and I'm a recent graduate of Copenhagen Business School's Master of Arts in International Business Communication. Climate change is important for me because Earth is my home. We get one precious planet, and if we want life here to be tolerable, let alone equitable and just, we must take responsibility for what we humans have done to it and take responsibility for the better possible future we can create. Obviously, my university can do things with its physical plant and processes to become more sustainable, but its real power is in ideas. Copenhagen Business School and all higher education institutions must wield their power to educate students on how to change the world, how to challenge the status quo, how to identify greenwashing and do something about it to make a real difference, and how to beat the drum of protecting our planet as loudly and clearly as possible until things get better. Universities are a tool to shake societies out of complacency, and they must be used to generate and infuse new and better ideas for our collective future. With the current global pandemic, issues of sustainability might take a back seat. It's going to be harder to focus on them given the new priorities that businesses must address. But with challenge also comes opportunity. Companies are rapidly digitizing, which will undoubtedly have a positive impact on climate change, and it's good to have accelerated that process. Universities, too, will have to find new, innovative ways to continue bringing international students together, even without travel. And these new platforms can be the foundation on which to build sustainable practices for the future. I'm hopeful that indeed necessity is the mother of invention, and that the silver lining of any crisis is the sharp refocusing on what's important and using the moment to create new and better ways of doing things. It's audacious to be hopeful, but that's the role of students, and I hope we can inspire you to be hopeful too.